Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bourbon Note. I'm Greg.
I'm Ben.
And today, we're drinking bourbon. And we're doing a list. All right, Ben, what's this list thing that is going around?
We have been called out personally.
By whom?
By our good friend Bobby over at Axe Bourbon. Go like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. I'm assuming if you're watching our channel, you got to know Bobby,
You've
right?
got to know the stash.
Yeah, the man behind the stash. And his wife, Elisa, aka Mrs. Axe, came up with a list that they did on the channel, and then they called us out for us to do the list.
So we're doing it.
So here it goes, and this is Mrs. Axe Pours Challenge. And I have it on my phone here so we can keep track, because I just watched the video today, and so we're getting right on top of this.
Okay.
So the first one is your pour. So your budget go-to whiskey or bourbon.
Quick note, whenever we do these kind of lists, I don't know what Ben has picked, and he doesn't know what I picked, and so we do drafts, and so we'll pull out of, he's got them hidden, and I have mine in a bag, so.
Perfect. Okay, the next one is a baller pour. This is your status or dollar amount pour, and that can be either a bottle you own or maybe you're gonna go out to a bar, you're gonna throw it down that night, balling out of control. What are you buying?
Okay.
The proud pour, what bottle you're proud to own or impressed with. The illegal pour, this is maybe my favorite one, and this says it does not have to be whiskey. What was your go-to under 21, back when you were just a young drinker and maybe shouldn't have been drinking? What did you drink back then? And your private pour, what don't you share or what don't you want anyone knowing you drink? You drink this by yourself. So,
oh, that's funny.
And we'll discuss each one of these categories as we get to them. So let's start it out with the pour. What's your budget bottle?
Okay. It comes up a lot on channel.
I was going to call it out there for a second. I was just going to mouth what I think it is.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll bring it.
Okay. I mean.
Oh, I was close. I said bottled and bond.
I don't have that bottle. Otherwise, I would have brought that one or this one. But Evan Williams is one of my favorite flavor profiles as an everyday. It's on the shelf at every liquor store. It's inexpensive, less than $30.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Great option. I totally recommend it, and I genuinely like it more than a ton of bourbons that are twice the price.
Yep. I actually probably would have picked Evan Williams Bottled and Bond as well. Mm-hmm. Just because that one's even cheaper than most good budget
because
ones.
At least this area comes in the 175.
Yep.
At around $30, right?
Yep.
And so if you're mixing drinks or whatever, it's a great deal.
Yeah, you can do anything with it. I assumed you were gonna pick that, so I picked one of my other favorite pours. We've got Bam Mellow Corn. You cannot go wrong. I mean, I could have used that as my baller pick. Excuse me.
It's kind of a cool pick, and I think a lot of people make fun of it, but the truth is, and I will go on record and say I have made fun of that on this channel.
Oh yeah.
But it's
you don't have to go on record. It's on record on the World Wide Web.
But it's actually pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And so it's a good pick.
It has a nice cult following.
And so if anybody doesn't know, my theory is it's essentially bourbon. However, legally they can't call it a bourbon because they use used casks.
Yep, used Heaven Hill casks.
Yeah. So it's basically Heaven Hill that's been reused cask.
Yep.
Is my guess.
And a very, very high, I mean, still legally the amount of corn, but very high amount of corn to make it a legal corn whiskey. Okay, we can't blab too much about each one of these bottles. Let's get on to the next one. Your baller pour.
I went basic with this one. This is
That is not basic at all.
Well, it's a great bottle of whiskey, and this one still annoys me because I've had the thought for a long time that the unicorn bourbons are not worth hunting for. Unfortunately, this one really is. Now, don't pay like crazy $1,000 price on it, but it's really, really good.
Yeah, for sure. I think they used George T. Stagg. I think that was their baller pours as well.
Oh, wow.
Greg hasn't seen the video yet.
Yeah.
So my baller pour, kind of in the same vein. I don't have a bottle, but this is one that I would go out if I'm going to drop some money on a special occasion, throw some cash down for an expensive pour. We had that 2022 William LaRue Weller, and it was one of the best bourbons I've ever had. Bam! I'm going William LaRue Weller for sure. I think that's it was just outstanding.
Yeah, and again, one that you don't want to like, but it turns out it's actually worth some of the hype, but not all the hype.
For sure. All right, the next one is the Proud Pour. What bottle you're proud to own or impressed with?
Okay. Now, this is a single barrel. I strongly suspect that we got a better, you have the same bottle. This bottle is way above average.
Yeah.
This bottle could be in like Bourbon of the Year category. And this one's unopened. However, Ben has this exact bottle from this liquor store.
That we have reviewed, and it's absolutely
outstanding.
Yeah.
So
you can't go wrong. It's so good. That one is just as good as any allocated.
Absolutely.
So, all right, speaking of allocated, my proud bottle that I'm proud to own, would you mind grabbing it up there? It's that 10-year-old one. To the left, to the left.
Oh, that
there
one.
you go. Bam. I do love this one. This is the Old Rip Van Winkle 10-year. Hey, let us know in the comments if you think Old Rip Van Winkle is technically a pappy. Because that's
absolutely.
That's like the is Jack Daniels.
I'm going to go on record. Yeah.
I mean, it's a Van Winkle nonetheless. It's still the same family, same.
It's same mash bill and same rick houses.
But this one's great. It's done well in blinds for us. And I think I'm going to be very hard pressed to ever find another bottle of this. And I did pay $100 for this bottle, which is unheard of unless you get into a lottery, which is what I did. So that's why that one's my proud to own it pour.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we have the illegal pour.
Okay.
What was your go-to when, before you were 21? And it says under 21. I had some, mostly it was beer under 21, but I'm going to go with my 20s, I guess, because I didn't really drink any hard liquor before that.
Okay. It's funny you should say that because this is my pick. In truth.
I knew this was going to be, you didn't drink before you're 21, did you?
I did not have a drop of alcohol before I was 21. I was a good Christian kid. Still am a good Christian kid that follows the rules, follows
the letter of the law.
Exactly. So don't have a pick for this one.
What about when you first started drinking? How about that, just for fun?
It was red wine when I was about 30 years old. I kind of
so you kind of got late. It wasn't even just that you were under 21. Like even in your 20s, you just weren't really into it.
Just really wasn't into it. And then I started to get interested in wine and went down the rabbit hole of learning about wine.
And now you're talking about whiskey on the internet.
And now I'm talking about whiskey on the internet. Yeah.
Probably good you didn't start in your 20s.
Well, yeah.
All right. So my go-to. Again, this wasn't under 21 because it would just be beer and that's boring.
Yeah.
But for many, many years was, bam, Jägermeister.
Really?
Almost gag a little bit just even saying it, just thinking of some of those nights.
Wow.
And just the overall, it's...
So
they clearly don't own a bottle of it anymore.
I wonder why not.
Yeah.
So I was in the Air Force a long, long time ago, and I was traveling. I was in Germany. And in a bar with some other friends, and some people bought us shots.
Yeah.
And it was Jägermeister. Oh, it's horrible.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
I got introduced to it because we got introduced to the Jäg Bomb back when it first came out, and you got to drink Jägermeister, but it masked the taste of it. With the awfulness of Red Bull. So now, to this day, if I smell Red Bull, it smells like Jägermeister to me because I cannot mentally separate the two. So yeah, Jägermeister. Not going to be doing that anytime soon. All right, so this is our last one. This is the private pour.
Okay.
So now it says on here what you don't share or what you don't want anyone to know you drink.
So originally when I read this, you texted me the list. Because I've not seen their video yet, I'll watch it eventually. I thought it was just, I now have a different thought, but I'll go with what I originally picked.
Okay.
So here's what I picked.
You're kind of known for changing the rules. So.
But I'm not going to change the rules because I'm following the rules.
Wow.
This is just an Old Elk wheated bourbon. However, this happens to be a store pick or a club pick. It's our local Wright County, Minnesota pick that is great.
Wright County Whiskey Club.
Right, yeah. And they did a pick on this, and it is just an incredible pick, incredible bottle. I love almost everything Old Elk does, and this one, when it's gone, it's one of those that you're not afraid to drink it, but you know that when it's gone,
you want to savor it because it's
yeah.
a pick. It's a special
Exactly.
one. So mine is, it's one that I kind of took this category, and until we started the video, I didn't remember that you don't want to share. So this isn't one that I wouldn't share. I would share anything I have on the shelf with a friend or a family member, and I think Bobby and Elisa would too.
Yeah.
But this is one that I, certainly don't break out at a party or something. The reason this is something I drink when I'm alone is because it's usually if I'm just having a pour of whiskey, kind of a special deal. Yeah, bam, it's been on our lists before. This is the Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. The reason I don't really bust this out at parties because it's 141 and some change proof. And it's not like we're gonna just sit here and...
And you can't replace it.
And I can't replace it.
Like you won the opportunity to buy it in a lottery, which is cool, but that's not going to happen very often. So
yeah, exactly. And so this one is, and again, it's such high proof. I'm only going to bust this out really when I'm just having a pour of whiskey.
Sure.
Which is usually when I'm by myself. If you're having a couple of whiskeys with a friend, we're probably not going to. Yeah. Although I can't say I've always held to that rule, but there have been nights.
Dude, you've got to try this one.
Yeah. So this is our list, and since Bobby was kind enough to call us out, we want to call out 3 other channels, because they called out 3, so we'll call out 3. We want to call out Baker Drinks, Bourbon School, and Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. Let's see your lists.
Let's see your lists.
All right. Well, thank you, Bobby and Elisa, for including in.
Thanks for the call out.
Yeah, including us in on this video. And again, go like, comment, subscribe to Bad Axe Bourbon. And while you're at it, while you're on the YouTubes, like, comment, and subscribe to the Bourbon Note as well.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right.
Till next time. See you next time.